Hello everyone and welcome to the grand finale of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles playthrough as Knuckles. And this time around I'm in Lava Reef Zone, which I feel like picks things back up from the meh tone of Flying Battery and Syndopolis. I absolutely love Lava Reef Zone. I like volcanic levels in games, and the music here is absolutely wonderful. I think I like the Act 1 theme a lot more than the Act 2 theme, which is kinda weird to say because it used to be the other way around. But I really like the Act 1 theme a lot more, and I'm pretty much in the closing stretch of this game because I just gotta get through Lava Reef and do a couple more things in the process, and since there's no Death Egg or Doomsday Zone, it ends up being a somewhat shorter, well, you'd think it'd be a little bit shorter, but it clocks in at about the same as my Sonic run. As the Knuckles run is definitely a little bit more difficult, so the difficulty kind of makes up for the shorter length of some of the levels. And of course, I mean, Syndopolis can be a nightmare to get through if you don't know what to do at the end of Act 2. And of course, I got the ever so helpful fire shield. And, ooh, okay. I thought I was going to get myself smushed there by the spikes. And then you got those enemies there, I think they're called Toxo-Misters or something like that. But they spew toxic air that steals all your rings. They're kind of like those fish in Hydrosity that just kind of latch onto you. Now I will point out that I don't personally find Lava Reef, I think I said Reef. I don't find it to be easy by any means. It's not a cakewalk to get through here. And of course I managed to get hit a bunch, so that kind of further amplifies my statement. I don't think I will get back to Hyper Knuckles in Act 1. I don't even know if I get back to it in Act 2. Oh wait, yeah I do, but something kind of weird happens. I left it in, so you'll see when I get there. Oh yeah, and I died right there. As this mini boss is quite a challenge too. Well, let's go ahead and take him down, shall we? Of course, you can go about it a couple of different ways, but it always comes back to you gotta hit that thing a few times. But you can destroy these arm-like things first if you want to. Regardless, though, you still gotta hit this giant hand a couple of times. I mean, it looks like a hand. Looks like a hand with 3 fingers. Kind of like how cartoon characters, for some reason, have 4 fingers. I always found that kind of weird. I guess it's just easier to draw that way. Okay, let's see what I can do here now that the enemy is exposed. Looks like I gotta land a couple more bonks. Oh, I thought I was gonna get myself smushed there. Of course, it makes it a little bit more difficult when you don't have any rings. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Hey, fire shield. And this time I get to keep it. But of course, fire shield, well, it's not completely useless. But the lava has cooled down and solidified, so kind of pointless. Now, I do like the music here. I just like the Act 1 theme a lot more. Plus, there's a MIDI version of this that's used in a fan game that I used to play a lot back in the day called Sonic Zone. And it's used for like a water zone in the game. So I usually think of that when I think of this. And I used to play the heck out of Sonic Zone. Y'all should check that out. I think you can still run it on modern computers. Whenever I was in 6th grade, when I first discovered that fan game, I was tricked into thinking I had something to do with it. When I actually didn't, and the game came out several years beforehand, and there's the ridiculous thing I did. I decided to leave that in just because it was so ridiculous. As soon as I get Hyper Knuckles, I get myself yeeted, and those 50 rings don't come back, so on with the show. Of course, you got those rare Eggman monitors, which will literally just act as you getting hit. I don't really care for those monitors. They do show up from time to time, but not very much in this game. I've only ever seen them in Lava Reef, and I think they show up a couple of times in Launch Base. Very underutilized. But I guess it is kind of pointless. As you see, that ring's not coming back. I just hope I don't end up doing the same thing I got very lucky there. There are plenty of opportunities to get yourself smushed in this zone. A little bit too many, if I do say so myself. Of course, this section here drives me up the wall a little bit, because you gotta climb yourself up the wall, and you can't do that if you're getting hit by the fire. Now I'll just go ahead and flip that checkpoint first. And that fire shield should be pretty useful. Now I do want to point out that, once again, the Lava Reef Act 2 is, I don't even think I pointed that out yet, but Lava Reef Act 2 is actually a little bit shorter than it is in the Sonic run. There's actually less to do since it takes place well after Sonic's story. So, spoilers, there is no boss when you play as Knuckles. There's no boss for Act 2. So that long, winding chase sequence where you gotta dodge the missiles and fall down the hole to the lava space, none of that's here. Which is fine by me, because that's one of my lesser favorite bosses in the game. I mean, the build-up's pretty cool, but I just hate getting stuck in the lava and being unable to avoid a lot of Eggman's projectiles and all that good stuff. But I'm not sure how close I am to the end of Act 2. I wouldn't think it'd be too much further. And wait a minute. No? It's around here somewhere. We'll get there, folks. Wait a minute. No. I'm just gonna keep screwing with y'all. Oh, is it here? No, this time I swear. Okay, this time I mean it. It's here. This is Hidden Palace Zone. Not the good Hidden Palace Zone. Not the one that I love from Sonic 2 Prototype and the 2011 mobile version, but when you play as Knuckles, it's kind of pointless, really. It just serves as like a teleport stage. Might as well be like a cutscene. And this is Sky Sanctuary, and it's not really as big as it is when you play as Sonic, but this is the final boss of the Knuckles. This is the final boss of the Knuckles run, folks. This is Mecha Sonic, who's harvested the Master Emerald. We're not to that section yet, but he tries to steal the Master Emerald and use its power, drain it, and see, here we go. Makes his way over to the Emerald, charges back up, and now you just gotta wait for him to run back and forth a few times. Now sometimes you want to be careful when he's doing his run back and forth, because he'll pull that on you sometimes where he'll come back down and run into you. Other times he'll fire 3 charge beams, which are a lot easier to avoid. And you just want to hit him 8 times like your standard Sonic boss. Now he's got a second phase after you hit him enough times, which I think I'm up to 5 bonks. Now the Doomsday theme does still play in the background, which is neat, but And there you see the Angel Island, floating island, rocking back and forth in the distance, as it needs the Master Emerald. And hey, folks, Mecha Sonic has been defeated, and man, that actually kind of felt a little anticlimactic, but regardless, that's it for the Knuckles run. Now we can take the Master Emerald back to the island where it belongs. Sonic shows up for a little bit there, just chilling, gonna help Knux out. Tilts the plane. Drops the emerald. Have to do everything all over again. Hey, maybe that's where they get the idea for Sonic Adventure. They drop the emerald off the plane and Knuckles has to go around collecting the pieces of it. But now the floating island will make its way up and away. But yeah, that's going to do it for Sonic 3 Knuckles, folks. Final thoughts on the game? Now that I've done a Sonic and Knuckles run, if I really wanted to, I could do a Tails run, but it doesn't add anything special other than Super Tails. So I think a Sonic and a Knuckles playthrough are plenty enough. But yeah, my final thoughts. I enjoyed it as a whole. I just think the game's a little bit too long. It's a little bloated and obnoxious at times. But it's not a bad game by any means. And once again, as per usual, gotta give them credits where they are in fact due, while the fancy credits medley plays. So I like how the Sonic games up to this point have had these credits medleys. Well, actually, Sonic 3 is a standalone game, doesn't have it. It has one of those Michael Jackson themes, which ended up being turned into one of his mid-90s songs, Stranger in Moscow. But yeah, the island continues to float its way back up. But it can't keep up with those credits. It'd be kind of interesting if it could, I guess. But yeah, I would recommend this game to anybody, especially anybody who hasn't played it. It's just not my personal favorite. I think they probably could have, I don't know, I feel like they could have scrapped a lot from it if they wanted to. Hey, Jon Snow's first credit in a Sonic game. I just wonder which themes he had a hand in putting together for this game. Pretty sure the only one I know of is the special stage theme. I think that was him. Nope. Now it looks... Yeah, it definitely looks like the island can't keep up with the credits, though. But I don't think it's going to make it all the way to space. Opus. Of course, I see that name and I always think of that cartoon penguin, Opus. But yep, now that remix of the intro theme plays, and folks, this game has been presented by Sega. And this has been a Fromark Industries production of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or Fromark plays Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I didn't produce the game, Sega did. But yeah, that's going to do it for this playthrough, folks. And that, as always, thank you for tuning in. This is Fromark, and I will see you in whatever it is I decide to do next. Until next time, see you then.